Alright, so I've already got some of this written down because I, again, started doing the video and realized the audio was not turned on. So now that I've turned it on, so the answer to this first one, it says, when you draw an altitude of the hypotenuse of a right triangle, you create three right triangles. Okay, and I showed you guys that right here. Okay, the altitude is that middle dotted line, and then I created three new triangles with that. I have a red one, I have a red, red, green, and orange one. Okay, so and I recreate them over in the course top left hand corner. So over to the right, it says the altitude creates two more right triangles to the already right triangle. This creates three similar right triangles. And what I looked at above is, you'll notice where I have marks here and here. Well, angle C is going to be the same in basically, let me rephrase. Whoops. All right, so what we have is, two triangles here. Okay, so angle B is the same as this angle B, and both of these have a right angle. So they're going to be similar. Okay, now if we look at the red one and orange one, we have angle A is going to be the same as angle A here, and both have a right triangle, or right angle. Therefore, they're going to be similar. Okay, angle-angle theorem. Remember, the angle-angle theorem tells us that if two triangles have two congruent angles, then they're going to be similar. Okay, well, now that we have the red one is similar to the orange one, the green one is similar to the orange one, so that means they're basically going to be similar to each other based off the transitive property, which is what's answered below. All right, so now let's move on to the next one. That's kind of what we just did and proved is this theorem that we have here. Okay, so if you have a right triangle, the one down the middle, you're creating three separate similar triangles. So now the next part is trying to figure out how can we figure some of these sides out. Okay. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do now. Now, this is the part that is not easy. Okay, this is what we call this is kind of what we're calling the geometric mean. Okay, and it's not very easy to do, but we're going to show you how to do it. So I've redrawn the two triangles that we're trying to find similar here. Okay, so we have PQR is the green one, and QSR is the blue one. So in this, I've set them up, and now that we have this, now we can find proportions. Okay, so if we try to draw a proportion to this, okay, the part that we're trying to figure out is QS. Okay, that's going to be our X. So we can set this up. In order to have this, to use that, we're going to use its corresponding part, which is the 20. So we can say X over 20. And now on the next part, what do both these triangles side have in common? Okay, the 9 and the 15. Okay, so now on the first fraction, we have the left triangle over the right triangle, the one that's on the right side. So right side triangle. And we're going to do the same thing. So we'd use this left one here, the 9. So we do left over right, left side over right side as well. Okay, they got to match up. Okay, make sure they match up. So we have left side over right side. So the right side of the 9 will be the 15. Okay, this portion here. So now that we got this proportion set up, we can cross multiply. So we end up with 15x is equal to 180. And then divide both sides by 15. You end up with 12. Okay, so this one here is going to be 12. QS equals 12. Okay, now you try it on number 6 and 7. Try 6 and 7, and then I'll pause it, work it out, come back. So in this problem, it's only asking you to write a proportion. So you could use to solve QPS or PS. Now notice too, I drew it out for you. I redrew and labeled everything that I knew. So I did P, QR, and then I also did QR or QRS as well. Okay, and I labeled everything I have. Now you notice too, and I did it right here, SR is 9. Okay, so SR is 9 of the whole thing, but we need to figure out the whole thing first. Okay, so first we can set up the proportion. So what I did was I did 15. I'll even highlight it. 15 over 9. Okay, that's where I got these, left side, right side, and then I did X, which is technically the whole side. Okay, so maybe I should write that. X equals whole length of the hypotenuse. Okay, so in this I did the X, which is the whole length, over 15. Again, left side, right side. Okay, that's all you have to do in this particular one. Now, on the next page, I actually solved it and got X to equal 25. Now remember, X is the whole length. Okay, X is that whole length. So basically, in this triangle, this whole thing is 25. Well, 9 of it is from here, from S to R. So to figure out what PS is, you would do 25 minus 9, and you get 16. So PS equals 16. So when you are trying to find the geometric mean of things, remember I talked about this is not very easy. Basically what you're trying to figure out is the lengths of some of these sides of these triangles. Okay, so to find the geometric mean on some of this stuff, your geometric means, which I basically flip this triangle, your geometric means are basically this side, and this side. Okay, those are all your means. Okay, and if you put blue equals means on yours, that won't make sense because you're probably doing it in pencil and paper. So this is what I'm basically showing you on this. Okay, so those are considered your geometric means. Okay, and those and so when we set things up, you're gonna have like a side over a mean equals your mean over side. Okay, so these two that I've pointed arrows to, they will match. They're gonna be the exact same number. Now the other two, these don't necessarily will. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Okay, so these middle ones, they're the ones that you consider your means. Now, a teacher once taught me a way of basically saying, let's say, but I flipped it for a reason because this is the top. Okay, up here is your top. So you pretend you have someone walking down, and they meet right here. Two places meet. Okay, two things meet at this point. Okay, one of them that meet is DA. Okay, and that is this portion here. Okay, the other one that meets is BA, and that's the whole thing. Okay, so what you would do is in this situation, let's just call this lowercase a. Okay, so that lowercase a, so you would have DA over lowercase a is equal to then equals to lowercase a, over BA. Okay, remember this is a mean. So basically you have DA over your mean over A, which is also your mean. Okay, and that's how you'd figure that one out. Pause this because I'm about to erase and show a new one. So now you're staying at the top, and you'll notice you're staying out top, and now you're going down the middle one. Okay, we'll call this B. And we're going to meet here. We're going to meet at this spot here. Okay, so now what is at those two spots? Okay, well, one of them is going to be AD. AD meets right there. The next one is going to be BD. BD is going to meet there. Okay, that's going to meet there. Okay? So now, if we set this up, remember it's your means, so it'd be side, which would be AD, over your mean, which is B, is equal to B, again, that's your mean, over BD. And then to figure out what something to do, you would just cross multiply and things like that. Okay, write that down, pause this, write it down because I'm about to erase and do it again on the last one. So now we start back at the top and we go down the right side. Okay, so now we have on this side what meets right here. Okay, at that spot. Well, one of them that meet is the whole thing again, A, B. Okay, so that is the whole thing again. And the next one that meet there is DB meets there. So now those are your lengths or your sides that you're kind of looking for. And remember, we'll label this mean, which is the one that you're walking, the path you're walking now. We'll just say that's C. So then we'll set it up like the other ones. So in this one, this would be, in this particular situation, you would have a side AB over your mean, which is C, is equal to C, which is your mean, over DB. And then to solve for something, you just crisscross that way again. Okay. I know it's a lot of information, but if you follow this step, if you follow this down, it's kind of simple to do. Okay. So halfway going back over it again on this particular one, you have the side that's closer to it. You have the side that's closer to it, and the whole thing. Well, on the right side, on this right side, you have the side that's closer to it and the whole bottom side. Okay, the middle one is the right side and the left side. Okay, hopefully it's just what two places meet at that point. Okay, write this down. Go try number 9 and possibly number 10 as well. I'll come back with the answers. Actually, I'll come back with a new video with the answers because I only have a minute left in this, and it'll take a while.